Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, we have more scores, reports and highlights from the Betfred Challenge Cup, and a report on the final Saturday game between Canberra Raiders and the Gold Coast Titans. So we're going to the final game of Saturday as we see these two sides go into battle as the Canberra Raiders host the Gold Coast Titans. Both sides are in this game with one win and one defeat each, with Canberra being disappointing in the last game out against the North Queensland Cowboys, losing 26 points to 6. The Titans, however, came up trumps against the New Zealand Warriors in a close fought affair where they picked up a 20 points to 18 victory. So here are the two teams. For the Raiders, a late switch at hooker with Matt Frawley starting the game and Tom Starling going to the bench. Ryan Sutton was on the last man omitted, and Xavier Savage is now the 18th man. Nick Kotrick, with a quad injury, has dropped out of the squad on Friday, replaced by Sebastian Christ, while experienced outside back Jordan Rapana was suspended and returns to the wing, with James Schiller dropping out. Brad Schneider, who was out with COVID protocol put in place on him, is now back in the number 7 position. Titans, Justin Holbrook has gone with the same 17 which got the job done against the Warriors in round 2. New signing Jermaine Izako was listed amongst the reserves on Tuesday after making the immediate switch from the Broncos, but he was omitted on Friday when the squad was cut to 19. So both the Raiders and the Titans entered the game with points to prove. Canberra were looking to redeem themselves over last week's horrific loss in Townsville, and also to atone over last year's home loss to the Titans, where they were resoundingly beaten 44 points to 6. While the Titans were looking to build on that result and their win last weekend against the New Zealand Warriors, as mentioned. It took 13 minutes for the first try to be scored, with Philip Sammy benefiting from a Titans right to left movement to the ball, exposing the Canberra's edge defence for a 4-0 lead. The Raiders tried to return serve, but crucial errors close to the line hurt them. The Titans extended their lead 9 minutes later when Brian Kelly scored off a lucky bounce from a grubber. Toby Sexton converted to give the Titans a 10-0 lead. Bo Fermor made it 3 tries for Gold Coast in the first half, bursting through some soft Canberra defence, and at 16-0 it was already looking like a repeat of last year's Bruce massacre. Sexton nearly increased Canberra's pain, barging over close to the line, but the bunker denied him. It was a rare reprieve for the struggling Raiders, whose horrible discipline gave them too many piggyback penalties. Skipper Tina Malawi scored the Titans' 4th try of the half for a 22 points to 0 lead. The Raiders finally got on the scoreboard though. Semi Viliame burrowed over after a nice pass from the returning Jordan Rapana. Would that try give the Raiders some hope of a miracle comeback, or was it just a plug in a dam? But we go into half time, 4 points to 22 in the Gold Coast Titans benefit. The second half saw the milk come out early, probably spurred on by the frowning of a lifetime from Ricky Stewart at the half-time break, with a spirited chase from Jack White's kick earned them a goal line dropout. The Raiders converted that good work when Matt Timoko scored off a nice Whiten grubber in the next set. Brad Schneider converted to cut the margin to 22 points to 10. Timoko got his second quickly with a beautiful offload from Tom Starling to Rapana, who passed to Tomoko. While Schneider missed the conversions, the Titans' lead was cut to 22 points to 14 with 30 minutes left. Would Canberra pull off the reserve faders and come back from a 22 points to nil deficit to win the game? Titans though came close to scoring after an unsuccessful Raiders captain challenge, but Sammy dropped the ball close to the try line. Sebastian Chris scored in the left corner to draw the milk even closer, with a beautiful cutout pass from Schneider. While Schneider missed the conversion, the Titans' lead was only 22 points to 18 with 20 minutes left, but plenty of time to spare. A desperate scramble from Starling saved another possible Titans try, which spoke volumes about the Canberra's vastly improved effort and momentum during this half. Canberra hit the lead when Chasney Nicol-Klostad pounced on a nice Schneider grubber. Schneider converted and gave Canberra an almost unbelievable 24 points to 22 lead with 5 minutes left. With the Titans going for one last shot in the final minute, a rib tickler from Viliame forced a mistake and sealed an amazing win for Canberra. It's the third time that Canberra won from 22 points down, previously doing it against the West Tigers in 2015 and Newcastle in 2016. As for the Titans, they're wondering how they'll let the game slip after such a dominant half. But, as they leave the game, the Titans lose. A heartbreaker, 24 points to 22. We now move on to the Betfred Challenge Cup in the round 6 draw, as there were 6 games played on Saturday, and we have some of the highlights. We're going to start off in the south of France, as Featherstone were the visitors to the Stade Gilbert Brutus to face an informed Catalans Dragons. We go into the first half, and it is Featherstone that get the first points on the goal, as a great offload from Junior Moores finds its way to Craig Pickersgill, who finds his way over the line for the opening try of the game. After this, after some breakdown and inventive play, first of all, Brett Ferris found Craig Hall, who kicked for a gap, but he chased up his own kick and stripped the Catalans player one-on-one, then kicked on again. And the ball found Joey Leilua, who had a clear run of the right-hand edge to score the first try. His first try of the game. After Craig Hall had added the extras, it was a 10-0 lead to Featherstone, but Fouad Yaha had the easiest dive over to respond for Catalan for a 4 points, as Sam Tompkins missed the conversion. And then Catalans went left again, and it was that man, Fouad Yaha, who goes over after a great bump off this time and some great pressure to get his second try. Featherstone went in half-time 8 points to 10 in the lead, and was even made it better as Joey Leilua used his pace and strength after getting an offload to score in the corner to extend Featherstone's lead. The kick was missed and it was 14-8, but Catalans came straight back as some good soft hands found Sam Cassiano from Ben Garcia to make it a 14-all game as Sam Tompkins had the extras. Some great hands from Drinkwater found Tyrone May, who bundled and barged his way over to give the Catalans a 20 points to 14 lead. And then a standard fair around the edges came to Tom Davis, who scored to make it 26 points to 14. And after a Sam Tompkins drop goal, it gave Catalans the 27 points to 14 victory over their championship rivals. In another 6-round tie, which included a championship side facing Super League opposition, the Sheffield Eagles took on Hull FC in one of the untelevised games. As you can see, Hull were resounding victors, 58 points to 12, and scored more points in the second half than the first, as they were winning 26 points to 0 at half time. Also conceded more in the second half than the first half. Well, it's only going to go one way if Sheffield was going to score. Anyway, for the home side, Wellham and Holmes scored the 2 tries in the second half, with Holmes kicking the 2 goals. For Hull FC, where I saw Connor score 2, Swift, and a hat-trick by Connor Wynn, as well as tries from Andre Savelio. Griffin Tumavave returns to the side. Vuli Kijapani added a try for himself, and Jordan Lane as well. Ben McNamara kicked 7 from 11 to give the Hull FC a path to the next round. So our next set of highlights that we're going to show are from the Sportsman. So go and give them a like, as they own the rights to these highlights. But I'm going to break them down a little bit closer, I think. Give you a more streamlined version. But anyway, I digress. So this game is between Whitehaven versus St Helens, as the championship side faces the holders of the Super League Grand Final Winners' Trophy and also the Challenge Cup winners in 2021. As if that wasn't daunting enough, Featherstone... Take 2. As if that wasn't daunting enough, Whitehaven started the game brightly, but unfortunately lost their second rower Liam Cooper, who was carried off with a suspected neck injury. It hopefully was just a precaution, but to have a man down in numbers on the substitutes or even on the pitch at any one point means that you're going to have to rethink a few things. Ahmed Ali said, you can have all the best laid plans in the world, but it all goes out of the window when you're punched in the face. This was a punch in the face for Whitehaven, unfortunately, but St Helens did not have much. So our next game was held on the Sportsman, as the 2 sides that went against each other were Whitehaven and St Helens. Whitehaven welcoming St Helens, who won the Challenge Cup and also Super League Grand Final in 2021, and it was an interesting battle between the 2 sides, and the full game and the highlights are available on the Sportsman. I am not going to go through any highlights with them. Go watch their highlights, give them the clicks and give them the support. But if you go to this time around here, the time here, you will not get any spoilers. So I'm going to give you 3, 2, 1, and it was a one-sided affair, really. But Whitehaven did put Saints under the cosh for the first 18 minutes. They were even between the 2 sides, but unfortunately on about the 8th minute, Liam Cooper of Whitehaven was carried off on a stretcher, hopefully just under precaution, with what looked like a neck injury. Wish him all the best, but at this time St Helens have gone through. Tries from Batchelor, Siranen and Amor got the game started in Saints' favour, with Makinson kicking 3 from 3 for a half-time lead of 18 points to 0. Then Norman, Dodd, Percival, Lussick and Roby. Roby had only been on the pitch for about 5 minutes the entire game, the 5 minutes where he scored, and Makinson kicking over 4 more goal conversions, giving St Helens the overall win. Whitehaven got on the scoreboard though with Dixon and sent 4,895 fans home on to that's a reasonable display of rugby league between two competitive sides. So we're 2 games left in the Betfred Challenge Cup, and one that I thought was going to be a cup upset is the one that we're going to cover now, as it was Hull KR facing Leeds Centurions on what was a almost even-keeled side sort of game. Hull KR with a couple of wins under the belt recently, and Leeds Centurions going great guns in the championship. But it was only one team that was going to win it, and win it they did. But it was closer than either side would have thought it, as Hull KR won 24 points to 18. After being 18 points to 2 up at half time through tries from Holton, Lewis, Parcell, a kick from Abdul and 2 from Dagger, and a penalty for Ben Reynolds for Leeds Centurions, you would have thought that Hull KR would have kicked on. But Leeds Centurions made a fist of it, with Brand, Jones and Mellor all getting over the try line, with Kristen Inu kicking 2 goals. But it was Will Staunton who went over for the final try, and his namesake Dagger kicked a 3rd conversion for Hull KR to go through to the next round. So the final game that we're going to look at today is another derby, but it's between 2 Super League clubs, as we see on BBC 2, Leeds Rhinos take on the Castleford Tigers, and both teams were looking to create momentum after indifferent starts to the season in the Super League. Castleford Tigers were in the final last year on a losing effort against St Helens, while Leeds won the cup 2 years ago in 2020 after beating Salford in a close game 17 points to 16. So we're early in the first half, and an offload by Jordan Turner gets the ball scooped out to the right wing, the left wing, and Kenny Edwards hands off Blake Austin to makes a gap down the edge and finds Jake Truman in for the try for the opening score of the game. After a decent play of the ball, Westerman passes out wide, O'Brien and Evalds are there, and they find a gap for Jake Mammo, who goes over to dot over the next try. Gareth O'Brien adds the extras, and it's 10 points to 0. Next we have Gareth O'Brien going over again for Castleford, and he extends that to a 18 points to 0 lead, and Leeds are looking shaky at this point, as Jordan Turner goes over for one for himself, which O'Brien adds another extra to, and Lawler completes the scoring in the first half for a 28 points to 0 lead to Castleford Tigers, and you can presume the tie has been put to bed. Leeds though must have got a right earful in the half, as they came out all guns firing, and Reece Martin went over to score Leeds' first points of the game to make it 28 points to 4. His kick, however, went across the posts, so it stayed 28 points to 4. But Leeds come again, and they spread the ball out to the left wing, and it's in the hands of Aidan Caesar, who passes out wide to Liam Sutcliffe. Is it Alex Sutcliffe? I keep getting the two mixed up. I think it's Liam Sutcliffe, who goes over for Leeds' second try of the game, and they start making some momentum. Reece Martin adds the 2 this time, and Leeds are 28 points to 10 behind now, and have their tails up. Leeds start going through the hands, and the ball is picked off by Greg Eden, who, in the words of Jonathan Davis, Jiffy, says that that's a momentum killer, which it sure is, as Castleford have the conversion as well to make it 34 points to 10 going into the final stanzas of the game. Leeds get some more momentum as they're camped on the Castleford line, and the ball is worked out to Reece Martin, who bumps and twists in the tackle for another 4-pointer. He adds the 2 for 16 points to 34. But Cass come back one more time, and it's that man Greg Eden who puts a gloss on the final score as Gaz O'Brien converts, and Leeds go out to the Challenge Cup in a scoreline of Leeds 16, Castleford Tigers 40. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also click that notification bell for any new videos that have been coming away. And as well, share this video worldwide so we can get the word out for Rugby League, for each and every single person that plays it, watches it, and adores the game. Well, tell me what your thoughts are on the results. Is Leeds' season getting worse and worse? And are they in risk of being relegated, as so many fans are coming around to thinking? It's about Saints. Do you think that they are going to have a better season this year? Are they still going to win the 3 trophies? Not going to be unbeaten like I said they would be, but hey ho. But anyway, let's have a look at the final scores for the for this round. So on Friday night, Wigan beat Salford 20 points to 0. Whitehaven were the first game of the weekend, and unfortunately were beat by St Helens. Couldn't have come up against the tougher opponent, 46 points to 4. Hull FC beat Sheffield Eagles 58 points to 12. Catalans Dragons 27, Featherstone 14, Hull KR 24, Leeds Centurions 18, and we've just seen it, Leeds 16, Castleford Tigers 40. The draw was also made in the half-time scoreline of Leeds versus Castleford. I won't go through that until the round has been completed, which with the 2 games tomorrow we can do so. But please tell me in the comments what your thoughts of this week's action, and thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video wide. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.